The Maple Leafs get pummeled in Columbus, and the seat is starting to warm on Craig Berube. You're listening to the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
You're Locked On Maple Leafs, your daily podcast on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome into the Locked On Leafs podcast, a daily Maple Leaf centered podcast hosted by myself, Mike DiStefano, and my co-host, Dave Morassutti. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. It's interesting. I was on FanDuel earlier today, Dave, and, doing as I usually do. I got my covers, best bets, and so I'm out there checking to see what's going on in the betting market. And for the first time in a long time, I saw the Maple Leafs were underdogs in Columbus. And that is pretty telling as to where the Leafs are at right now. Granted, Columbus has played much better hockey, the last couple of years, but you don't usually see the Blue Jackets favored over the Maple Leafs, but I think that speaks volumes to what's gone on here to this point, and rightfully so, because the Blue Jackets absolutely walloped the Maple Leafs in this one tonight.
Yeah, no, they were the team that played the best deserved to win the game. Like the Blue Jackets were. They took advantage of a lot of what's been ailing the Leafs these last pretty much almost the start of the season. But I'll say one thing, like this Leafs team should be very fortunate of what's happening right now in Toronto, that they are not the center of the universe. Otherwise, I don't know where like a game like this is getting nearly maybe half the attention.
You're right.
Social media.
You're right. They owe Trey Savage and company so many beers for taking a little bit of the heat off the Maple Leafs. Shout outs to the Blue Jays and Savage. One game away from a potential World Series victory. That kid's unbelievable. But the Maple Leafs seem so far away from being in that stratosphere, especially after what we saw tonight. And it's much like the same stuff, like just they're just completely careless with the puck, and that's been a problem that's persisted all season long. Like these turnovers are becoming so costly. And again, you watch back the tape, while you're watching live, and you go back and you look at the film, and you're like, every single one of these Columbus goals are directly as a result of a Maple Leafs turnover or some sort of defensive breakdown. And it just continues to be a theme throughout the opening few weeks here of the season. And tonight, again, you saw the same stuff. 23 turnovers, Dave. 23 giveaways the Maple Leafs were registered with tonight. And that's just simply insane. Like you talk about a coach who tries to preach puck protection, right? Mm-hmm. And making sure you're careful with the puck, playing simple hockey, protect the puck. 23 giveaways? Like that's insanity. And it really, really cost them tonight.
It did. And you look at the plays that lead to the breakdowns, the giveaways, and a lot of it's lazy. Like defensemen in their own zone, passing the puck to a team in the other jersey, not even to their own guys, or a bad pass that goes off their own guy because they're not being careful enough in putting the puck on the tape. Yeah. And then it goes the other way and it's in your net. Like I see this as like this totally goes against everything Craig Berube wants him to do, by the way. Like he's not telling them, I know, just give the puck to the other team. Like protect the puck, be smart with the puck, and don't give the opportunities to the other team. And like so many times tonight, you see a bad pass from a defenseman, and you're just skate with it. Take a couple of, if you skate a little bit, guess what? Now the opposing team is pretty much saying to itself, if we stay at the blue line, we have a good chance of intercepting a pass and it going the other way, because this has become a predictable trend for this Leafs team. I'm looking right now. I don't know if it's updated with tonight's game, but the Leafs sit fourth in
Yes.
giveaways.
Yeah. Fourth in giveaways. And like I've got like a little stat pack that I was going to get to when we talk about Craig Berube potentially being on the hot seat. And it's a tiny bit too early to have that conversation, but it's like, we're now 10 games into the season, 11 games into the season, and the same problems continue to persist. And like, how many times can he, talk about how they need to learn from this? How many times can, Matthews come out here and say, I thought we played well, just a couple breakdowns were costly. How many times can the goalie come out and rip your team? But ultimately, it's the same stuff each and every game, and it's becoming really, really annoying to watch. I gotta say, but yeah, like they fourth in turnovers, and in NHL, Mike Kelly put this stat out. You texted it to me in the middle of the game. In NHL leading, I think now the number is 15 goals off turnovers on the rush this year. And that's been their big Achilles heel. They consistently are turning the puck over, and they're too slow and flat-footed, and no one's filling in behind to help them. And it's just odd man rush, whether it's a breakaway, a 2-on-1, a 3-on-2. There's a 4-on-2 at one point tonight that resulted in a goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And it's just plays like that and breakdowns that continue to happen on a game-by-game basis.
And the one thing, too, is like when it's on the rush, too, what are they doing? The opposing team isn't just going to the net sometimes. They're cutting across. It's like it's not even the Leafs are just so discombobulated in defending off the rush. It's just getting to the point where it's like it's very evident what is wrong, what is ailing this team right now. But the problem is that they're not like it's not sinking in what they need to do to fix it. Like Craig Berube is obviously telling them you need to do this. And they're just not doing it. Now, obviously, the turnovers don't help. But
there's a lot. There's a lot of problems. Yeah, like there's a lot of problems right now. Like there's a lack of communication out there. They're not playing with structure. It seems like they're very disconnected. And I believe John Tavares had a quote tonight about how the team, is just a very disconnected team effort. And, you look at what goals Morgan Rielly tried like a 2-line stretch pass because there was no forward anywhere near him. He had the puck, in his own corner, and he tried to break it out. And because there was no forward to help him, right, give him that easy outlet, he had to try and pass it all the way into the neutral zone of the opposition. Well, that's very, very simple for Columbus to pick off and take the other way. That's exactly what happened, very predictably, and they end up scoring a goal off it. And it's like, that's the type of stuff we talk about when you're not connected. I mean, there's no reason for someone to be trying to make a 70-foot pass in a game like that, right? Like, it's so much easier. I'll never forget this. Frank Corrado, when I was hosting Leafs lunch with him, always said to me, I mean, he's like, think about it. It's simple, right? You talk about the word simple. It's like, what do you think is an easier pass to make? A 70-footer, trying to do a stretch pass through to the other side of center ice and the opposition's blue line, or a 5-foot pass, and then you carry it out. What do you think is an easier exit? To try and go up ice the other way? And it's simple. It's easy, right? Like that's just a simple hockey, right? Go back, make the quick pass, easy touch pass, 5, and then away you go. But no, it just seems like they're always trying for that home run play. And I guess maybe when you're down by 3-4 goals, you start to lose that structure a little bit, and you get disconnected because you're trying to always, be the hero and get that big home run play. But that's kind of the problem. Like you're shooting yourselves in the foot too by being down in these games. They continually are trailing and having to come back. And what happened to being patient, sticking with it, waiting for their opportunities to strike? It seems like they're just way too aggressive nowadays. And the pinching has to stop. Like every single game, Dave, we're coming here breaking it down, and there's a goal or two where it's like, oh, that was a bad pinch by McCabe, or what the heck was Simon Benoit thinking there, pinching in that situation? No backfill by the forward, and like it's just stuff like that where it's simple. Like for the next 2 games, if I'm Craig Berube, I'm telling my team, I don't want to see a single pinch. Like, honestly, I do not care. We need to figure this out. We got to be better at defending the rush. We got to make sure that we are shutting plays down at our blue line and not giving opportunities like that to the opposition, because enough is enough, right? You start there. Start from the back, work your way up front.
Yeah.
But tonight was just an embarrassing game, to be quite honest with you. An all-out embarrassing game for me for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, there wasn't much, like we'll obviously get to the good, bad, and the ugly, but like if you're Craig Berube, you have to preach now one word going forward: discipline.
Yeah,
discipline everything you do. Discipline in your effort, because we can question the effort of some of the players. Discipline in staying within the structure that has been enforced by the coaching staff. And discipline in helping your teammates get out of bad situations that maybe you put them in. If you turn the puck over, you better be one of the first guys hustling their butt to get back and help. Yeah. Because that's also an issue too, is that how many times are we not seeing enough hustle from this team in those situations, and the defender's just like, all right, I got to figure out how to cover like 3 guys off the rush here because I don't have help to do it. Like the lack of discipline that this team has right now is also concerning.
Yeah, it's gross. What's happening? Let's reconvene. Let's get back and let's get into the good, the bad, the ugly. We'll go into the nitty gritty. Couple plays that we wanted to pick out in our good, bad, and ugly performances of the night. And we got to have that conversation. Is it too early to be talking hot seat when it comes to Craig Berube? We'll get into that discussion a little later on the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. The NHL is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the Locked On Network. Even if you miss the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score the next goal to third period comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at bigger payouts. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the Locked On Network. Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morassutti with you, as we are each and every day, Monday through Friday, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. You can find the Locked On Leafs podcast on YouTube as well, Apple, Spotify, all the good stuff each and every day for brand new Maple Leafs content directly to you. Maple Leafs with a 6-3 loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Again, they seem to give up at least 5 or more goals to Columbus like every single time they play this team. I don't know what it is about Columbus, but the Maple Leafs just cannot keep the puck out of the net when they play this team. And tonight was no different.
And like, what's Columbus doing that's so phenomenal? It's just off the rush and capitalize on mistakes. A lot of it, that's what a lot of it is. When Matthew Joseph, Matthew Olivier. Matthew Olivier. Wrong math.
Career night for Matthew Olivier. Guy's an enforcer.
Like when enforcers are scoring on you, you know you are doing something wrong.
He had 4 points tonight, didn't he?
Did he actually? Oh my
3 or 4 points? I'm pretty sure.
I didn't look at the final stat sheet just because like watching that game was just enough for my eyes to bleed. I mean, like while also keeping track with the Jays game, so like my eyes were just not even going to look at a stat sheet.
Well, at some point, it was just like, okay, the Leafs were just going to periodically look over. Yeah,
Charlie Coyle, 3-point night. Oh, my God, he did have 3 points, a goal and 3 assists.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's a big night. That's a 4-point night for Olivier. 4-point night for Olivier.
He had more points than Zach Werenski.
Yeah. Big evening for the most vaunted playmaker known to man, Matthew Olivier. Yeah, that's you're now looking, that's what, 4, 5. So the last, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, now 7 games. Columbus has won 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two, and they've put up 5 or more goals in each of those games. Like, I don't know what it is about Columbus, but the Maple, it's like they're scared of that damn cannon. Like, they're just scared of it. And the second they hear it, they shake, they quiver, and all of a sudden the cannon goes off again and again and again. It's wild, man. Not a great night from the Maple Leafs all around, from top to bottom, really. There wasn't a whole lot of good. We get to the good, the bad, the ugly. Not a whole lot of good. I will say, I thought that the Maple Leafs started out the second period playing pretty well. They seemed to win a couple of shifts in a row there. I thought that they were winning some puck battles. They were going to the net. Sammy Blais scored, got his first goal as a Toronto Maple. First goal in 741 days, by the way, in between his last NHL goal and tonight's goal. So things were looking good. And then all of a sudden, the Ivan Provorov goal just completely killed all that momentum. Again, another one that kind of, started with a bad giveaway, but that killed all the momentum, and the Blue Jackets took control back and ran away with it. But I did think they started out the second period well, the first few minutes, but then it ended horribly because I think they got outscored 3-1 in that period. So it didn't end well.
Yeah,
But
the fourth line was actually one of the few lines that didn't end the night with a minus, which kudos to them.
Well, because, Mr. Scratch and score, Nicky Bobby, got a goal at the end there to help things.
Yes, he did. Goal and assist for him. I thought he did some good things. He was trying to, be a presence on the forecheck and get, try to create things offensively. I thought he actually did a pretty good job with that. But I mean, we should, and I hated the fact that it happened in this game. John Tavares did get his 500th goal.
Yeah.
And it's like, you get such a career milestone. It's like, yeah, but we're getting our asses kicked. I can't even properly celebrate this.
No celebration at all. And that's the type of thing where, you remember when Sundin scored his 500?
Never forget it.
I mean, well, that was like the hat trick performance, wasn't it? It was like
he
5
scored
in overtime.
Yeah, he scored the 3 goals in 3 different ways, three different ways, like overtime, power play, and something else.
Yeah,
shorthanded, I think too. I just remember that game and just that's why I wanted him to do it against Calgary, because it could have celebrated at home. Would have been a good salute to him. No, he does it in a game that made it 6-3. Teams playing like garbage, and he can't probably celebrate. And even after the game, he's like, I play this for the team to win. I don't do it this doesn't mean much to me if we're getting the result that we're getting. I'm like, oh yeah, terrible.
Yeah, you wish you got a little bit more, out of the group for that, but you didn't. So yeah, that was a good, I suppose. Obviously, when you get a goal from John Tavares, big milestone. Congratulations to him. That's massive. He's only the 49th player in NHL history to reach 500 goals in his career. Is it just him and Sundin who've done it as a Maple Leaf? I don't know if anyone else has actually scored their 500th goal as a Leaf. Probably just him and Sundin, I would think. I mean, there's only 49 guys who've ever done it in general.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, just him and Sundin. And one day it'll be Matthews, I'm sure. I'm sure it'll be him. But for now, we celebrate John Tavares. So that was the good. The bad, Dave, and there was quite a bit of it. What'd you pick out for bad?
I was debating whether to do him as the bad or the ugly, but Caden Primo.
Oh, yeah.
Not a good night for him. Some of the goals, tough breakdowns defensively. He doesn't have, it's tough, but some of the shots he let in, unscreened.
Yeah, you're letting in seeing eye shots from the point, and there's no traffic in front. It's coming from Dante Fabro. What are you doing? It's just, those aren't goals.
The goal, they try to say, oh, that's a great shot. I'm like, is it really that great of a shot? It just, It's because it's Zach Werenski. You're going to give it a lot more credit than the fact that there's no traffic. He's obviously in a shooting position, and you're just not prepared for it.
Yeah.
You missed the shot. Like, it just went by you.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. Like, it's almost as if he lost the net a little bit in a way. But yeah, you look at his stats tonight, a 739 save percentage. This is that 5-on-5. We'll pull it up for a thing. A 760 save percentage. Allowed 6 goals. Yeah, allowed 6 goals on 25 shots, a 760 save percentage, and he allowed, I guess that would be what, like basically 5 goals. No, how many expected goals did they have tonight? The Columbus Blue Jackets had expected goals. Where's that stat? 3.59 expected goals at 5-on-5. Overall, that 3.9. So he allowed what? That 2.1 goals above expected tonight. So not a good night from Caden Primo. And I do wonder. I really wonder if that's the last time that we'll see Caden Primo in the Leafs net, at least for a long while. With Joseph Wall kind of nearing a return, if they need someone to come in and make a spot start between now and whenever Woll's ready to go, I feel better, honestly. Call up Dennis Hildeby. Put him between the pipes. I don't think the Leafs should let Caden Primo start another game for the team anytime soon.
No, I totally agree with you. Yeah, Money Puck had it at a minus 4.19 goals saved above expected.
There you go.
So, like, as bad as the Leafs giveaways and breakdowns were, the goaltending didn't help.
No.
And they were they were generating offense. They were doing things offensively. It's just you get a back-breaking goal and it's like you allow one.
Yeah. So, like, when you have 23 turnovers and a 760 save percentage, you're not going to win a game. You're just not going to win that game, right? You get defensively breakdowns, you turn the puck over, and then you can't get a save on top of that. You're not going to win that game. And, 6 goals allowed tonight for Caden Primo. We'll see if he gets another shot at redemption at some point here. But I don't think he will, to be quite honest with you. The ugly for me, just the puck protection. I noted on 23 giveaways, and 5 of the 6 goals tonight all came directly off of Maple Leafs giveaways and defensive breakdowns, and just completely playing just unaware of what's going on the ice. It felt like it. Just terrible defensive play tonight, and the puck protection was beyond terrible. It was some of the worst I've ever seen. Just lazy. It just really seemed like there was no urgency or purpose to a lot of what they were doing out there tonight. Seemed like they were honestly just like watching the Jays game on the iPads on the bench and just going up there to play a hockey game to finish up so they could go watch the last couple innings. Honestly, it's what it felt like.
Yeah. Simon Benoit, absolutely terrible tonight. Like I didn't like his game at all. I haven't really liked his game all season, really.
Yeah, he's popping up in these for a lot for you specifically.
Not only that, like you're talking about defenders who are pinching. He's the worst. He's the most guilty party of it.
Dude, he's becoming Justin Hall 2.0. Like, he really is at this point.
Love this game last year, but you can't think that's going to work every single time. Like, you're not the offensive genie that you were that, one time you score that one playoff goal in overtime.
And now he thinks Bob Orr.
But this is where my ugly. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 6 giveaways. Nicolas Waugh, 5 giveaways. Morgan Riley, 3 giveaways. Jake McCabe, 2 giveaways. Those are veterans. Veterans who are doing these. You can't blame this on inexperience, young players.
It's not Easton Cowan making these bad decisions and turnovers. It's the guys who are supposed to be kind of the leaders, the guys who are supposed to be, the dudes who are supposed to exemplify what this team's all about, right? And they just simply have not done that to this
No.
point. Yeah, it's tough to see.
Like someone within the group, we know who it should be, has to step up and say, if this is not the expectation, and we keep saying that it needs to change. It hasn't changed. Like I haven't heard any call for a player meeting. Like sometimes players do that.
I think there was a little bit of a meeting after kind of the call out from Stolars. I think there was a bit of a player discussion after that, but outside of that, it doesn't feel like there hasn't been anything, at least nothing publicly. There could be some.
Well, and that's the thing. We don't need to always
stuff.
have it made public, but the fact is that they've come out and said things in the media, and then nothing's changed. It just means you're just saying things to get the words out, but you're not actually.
There's no action to follow.
No, and
right?
it's
been a week now since Matthews came out and said, like, we have to be better and we will be better.
Yeah, it has not happened.
Still waiting, bro. Still waiting for you guys to be better because it's the same nonsense each and every game.
Yeah, and you get tired of hearing, "Oh, we did some good things." Well, those good things you did led to another loss. So, what good things could you really have done if it ends up being a loss?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. And what was the quote from Austin Matthews tonight? Even tonight, it was not really like a scathing remark. It's almost as if he was okay with his team's performance. He almost blamed it on like 2 or 3 bad moves, like 2 or 3 bad plays is what made the game look uglier than it was. But it's like, no, man, it's not. Like it was 60 minutes of a snooze fest for the Maple Leafs. There really wasn't anything. Maybe they played collectively 4 minutes of like good, hard hockey. You know what I mean? Where it seemed like they were on the attack. The rest of the game, they were just kind of floating around out there playing
Here's the Matthews quote. I don't think it's an effort thing. Guys worked hard. I thought we competed. Just when breakdowns happen and mistakes happen, they're too big. I think it's more of a cerebral thing more than an effort thing.
What the hell does that even mean?
Like,
more of a cerebral thing? Like, what does that even mean?
Like, is it just a mental? Are they mental? Like, he's probably trying to say it's more mental mistakes than like them actually trying. The thing is that yes, there are a lot of mental mistakes because a mental mistake is passing the puck to the other team. That's a mental mistake.
Yeah,
but coming out flat to start a game, that's physical too. That's effort. If you're putting an effort at the start of the game, like the third line was the best line for a good part of the first period because they were hounding for the puck, forechecking, pressuring, cycling. I didn't see it from the other 3 lines. Not until you're already down 2-0 and had to find a way to try to get momentum. So if it's a mental thing, then it's up to the players to get it done.
Well, I mean, it's up to the players, but can the coach do anything to get them head in the right direction? Like, is there some buttons that he can try pushing that he hasn't yet? Let's come back. Let's get into that conversation. Is Coach Craig Berube potentially on the hot seat after a 5-1 start to the season? And it has not looked pretty. We'll get to that next here in the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
Today's edition of the Locked On Leafs podcast is brought to you by Monarch. Let's be honest, most of us can't even name all of our financial accounts, let alone what they're worth. Between 401ks, savings, and investments, it's easy to lose track, and that can mean leaving money on the table. That's why I started using Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. It's the best way to help organize all your accounts, track your spending, and get a handle on your investments. And you don't even have to touch a spreadsheet. And if you're sharing your finances with your partner, you can see your shared goals and make better financial decisions together. Monarch's visual dashboards and smart tools make it so much easier to understand where your money's going and how to make it work harder for you. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarch.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarch.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year.
Welcome back into the Locked On Leafs podcast. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morassutti with you, as we are each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, with brand new episodes, talking all Leafs all the time on the Locked On Leafs podcast, available wherever you find your podcasts. Is it too early to have the conversation about Craig Berube, Dave? Because I've seen a couple of people start to question whether or not Berube has the answers, because he's kind of like, here's a little stat pack for you, I guess. Like, here's where things sit right now with the Maple Leafs. To this point, we're through the October schedule. That was the final game in October. And to be fair, the Leafs do typically have slower Octobers. They do usually start around 500. So I think that's a reason as to why maybe it's a tad premature to have this conversation, but hasn't looked good, Dave. They've got a -3 goal differential. Their power play is piss poor, 13% power play, an 83% penalty kill, which again, nothing to write home about. And offensively, they rank 21st in the NHL in expected goals per 60 at 5-on-5. It just, I don't know, Dave. It hasn't looked right, and I like Berube as a coach. I think his systems and what he preaches is definitely can work. It's proven to work. The St. Louis Blues kind of were able to play Berube's system and play the Berube way, and they won a championship. I don't know if it's a marriage here in Toronto with the guys they got there on the Maple Leafs. And what's easier, Dave? Moving on from Berube or moving on from a whole team, right? That's kind of the age-old question. I don't know. Like, where are you at with Craig Berube? Is it a worthy conversation at this point, or is it still premature to talk about him being on the hot seat?
I think it's a little premature. I don't know if the 11-game sample size is enough.
Yeah.
But there are areas where we do feel like there are areas that are lacking, right? You know, the expected goals has always been one. You know, the fact that Austin Matthews is now still struggling to get the offense going for himself. And I'm not even going to put this on Mitch Marner being gone, because we talked about how he's looked without Mitch Marner in the past, and this has not really ever been something to be that concerned about. Like, I think it gets to the point where if they just look totally mismatched against, like, I don't know who's their next. I haven't even looked at their next opponent. I'm looking more at the Jays schedule. I'm at the Leafs.
Philly. Yeah, Philly on Saturday, don't they?
They have a back-to-back against. Philly on Saturday. And they have the powerhouse Pittsburgh Penguins on the Monday. Next,
I mean, they're playing good, and that's Dubas in the building. I mean, that's another game you should, kind of get up for. But we said the same thing when Keefe came to town against the Devils, and nothing, no oomph from the squad.
Yeah, and we know October has always kind of been a bad month for the Leafs. They've never really ever looked good, and they didn't last year under Berube. Like they looked better last year.
They have a winning record though. For them, I think they were like 6-4-1 or something. It's like not a crazy record, but it looked better. I think like it actually looked decent. Where it was more so like the expected goals were a little bit better. It was more so like eventually they'll start to drop, right? Like Matthews had the injury, and like there was just the expected numbers were there, but the actual numbers weren't supporting it. And we knew eventually that the law of averages would average out, and it did. The problem is the expected numbers here, Dave, aren't all that rosy. Like, again, 21st in the NHL in expected goals per 60. This is a team that needs to score, right? Like that's kind of what they need to do, especially if you're going to be fourth in giveaways and have an 873 save percentage. And that's exactly where the Leafs sit. Fourth in giveaways in the NHL, and they have a team save percentage of 873. You're not going to win a lot of hockey games if you're a bottom third team offensively, giving the puck away all the time, and you can't get a save. It's not a recipe for success.
It's not. And look, this goes totally against the Craig Berube system. This is why I'm not totally in favor of having the conversation right now, because they're doing everything that it should be working. Like the Berube system.
I guess the question that I'm asking is like, has he lost the room? Like, why aren't they buying in to the system? And if he's lost the room, like, how much longer of a leash can you give him?
Here's the problem though. You just had I guess you fired Brendan Shanahan, and you had Keith Pelley come out and say, "I love the way Brad Treliving and Craig Berube work together." So you already got a big backer in Craig Berube, and the guy that's going to be making that decision whether he is going to be the coach or not, if that conversation ever comes up. Like, Brad Treliving is not just going to go to Keith Pelley and say, "Yeah, we're firing Craig Berube. Like, this needs to change." It's going to be so coaching. Like, we feel like it's not really working now, and like Keith Pelley is not having that conversation right now. I guarantee it. He'll probably put this more on the players to try to get this going. And I would at some point, and it didn't get asked when he spoke about, I don't know if he ever was really asked when the Joseph Bowl stuff was talked about, but I would love it if Brad Treliving would actually say, like, it's on the group, right? It's on the players. Like, at some point that will, if this continues to happen, there will be that will be asked of Brad Treliving. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a little, even, doesn't it hurt even more seeing who's at the top of the mountain right now when it comes to the standings? Have you seen who's sitting at number 1 in the NHL?
I have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Sheldon Keefe's New Jersey Devils. And that's without Craig Berube or Jacob Markstrom, who missed a bunch of time.
Yeah.
You know who's also in the top 5?
Maybe do they have an 8-game winning streak or something like that?
Yeah, they've played really, really well, man. Like, they're killing it. Like, Sheldon Keefe has gotten a lot out of that group, and they're bought in, and they're playing a really good brand of hockey. And you know who else is playing a good brand of hockey? Dubas's Penguins, who are wagging right now for whatever reason
in the NHL.
Like, meanwhile, you look at the Maple Leafs and they're 500, and it seems like things are unraveling a little bit. And I don't know. It's just it's probably a bit too premature, I think, obviously, but I do believe that if they're still a 500 team by this time next month, it might be a worthwhile conversation at that point. Like, not just a conversation, probably would be a legitimate consideration if they're still a 500 team by American Thanksgiving, because this is a team that needs to win. Like, they've been all in the last few years. Like, this is a team that needs to win. This isn't a rebuild, a retool. A couple of years we got some young guys coming through. Like, no, like they're only getting older. They're a veteran group now that's only getting older as the years go on. They got to try and win now, next year, the year after. Then Matthews' contract's over, and who knows what happens at that point after that. So there's still some rope there. Obviously, there's some leash there on the coach. He's earned that after, last year they obviously got on the rails and they started to play well. But to this point in the season, I haven't seen that team, right? I haven't seen that team. I haven't seen that doggedness from the players they brought in that were supposed to establish that, Berube identity. Hasn't really been there to start the season. So if that doesn't change, I really do think there's a consideration within the next month. If they're still trying to find themselves, he may find himself out of a job.
Yeah, and they're 0-3-0 on the road right now. Like that, their play on the road has not been good enough. And that's probably the first. that's matchups. That's them not, there's a lot of things that go into that, but man,
And that's the thing. Like, and dude, you know who they've played? They've played Detroit. They've played Buffalo.
and Columbus.
And Columbus. Detroit, Buffalo, and Columbus. Those are the teams that they've played on the road and have been unable to pick up any points on the road. Like, what? Unbelievable. They've had a soft schedule. They've been at home for the most part, and they're still a 500 hockey team through the first month of the season. It's kind of unexcusable for a team that it had Stanley Cup aspirations at the beginning of the year. They don't look anything close to that right now. Not even close. And that's a problem. And hopefully November, they can turn the ship around, as they typically do, I should note.
Yep.
Usually they are the best team in the NHL in Novembers. Whether it's back in Freddie Anderson's days with the Freddie November chants, or even the last couple of years, they've been a strong November team. But it doesn't look good right now, is I guess all we're saying. You have any final comments there, Dave?
Stop sucking.
Please.
Be more like the Jays.
Dude, but like the Jays are done this weekend. Like, regardless if they win
you don't
Friday
have
or Saturday, like they no longer have a cover here, right? Like, they got to get it going now. You know what I mean? Like, they play Saturday, they got Philly, and then up after that they got starting that game in Pittsburgh. It's all eyes on the Maple Leafs, because the Raptors aren't really any good either. So it's going back to being a Leafs team, a Leafs city, right? Once the Jays are finished up this weekend. So the turnaround has to start now, or the scrutiny will really, really start to get dialed up a notch here in the city of Toronto. All right, buddy. That'll do it for us here today. Ooh, we'll have a Halloween edition of Locked On Leafs tomorrow. I got a couple fun things planned for us, Dave. A couple fun little bits planned. So be prepared.
I got to get the spooky music ready.
Yes, do have to have the spooky music ready. All right, that's going to do it for us here today on the podcast. I'd like to thank you all for listening and supporting the show. You can subscribe to the Locked On Leafs podcast on all platforms and receive daily Leafs content. Follow myself on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck. Follow Dave at D_Morassutti, and follow the show as well at Locked On Leafs. We'll be back with another episode for you guys tomorrow. Until then, keep it locked right here on Locked On Leafs.